Alright. Hello. I am rid of this tab really quick. 1 second, guys. We'll be starting very soon. I'm just doing a few things really quick first. Alright, just sending out a post that I am now live. Don't know why it hasn't posted yet. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna start really soon. Just gonna send a few texts out to people to let people know that I am live. Just about to get started. All right. I will need my pencil and my stuff here. And I am going to go ahead and number these pages so I don't get confused. you all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. And all right, I think I'm ready to get started. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. All right. Hello, if you don't know who I am BlueMoonMonsoon, but you can call me Moony, and today's stream we are going to be reading the most recent text that I have been assigned for my philosophy class. So fun. It doesn't seem like too long of a text this time. I don't remember who he said was the person that wrote it, but I do have it in my notes, so let me just look into that really quick. Okay, so I think he said that the author for this text is Aquinas. It's spelled Aquinas. So, I don't quite know what this text in particular is called or anything, but this is what it looks like. And it's once again discussing the essence of a human soul. So, whoopee. If you tuned in for the last stream, you should know about that. If you haven't, maybe consider checking it out later, Anyways, I'm going to get a quick drink really quick, and then we'll get started. All right. Let's do this. The first heading we have here is the essence of the human soul. Now that we have considered the spiritual creature and the corporal creature, we must consider man, who is composed of a spiritual and a corporal substance. And then it has in parentheses something that I am not going to read because it looks like it's in Latin, and I unfortunately do not read Latin. We will consider first the nature of man, parentheses questions 75 through 89, and then the production of man, parentheses questions 90 through 102. So I'm thinking for those parentheses things, it's probably different sections of whatever he was writing, because at the very top of this whole document it says questions 75, so I'm assuming that's the section and everything. So anyways, now the theologian's role, cannot speak correctly today, anyways, is to consider man's nature with respect to the soul and not the body, except insofar as the body is related to the soul. And so the first part of our consideration will have to do with the soul, since according to Dionysus, they're referring to a Greek god, or maybe that's a person that was named after a Greek god, but I'm pretty sure Dionysus was the Greek god of like wine and partying, so I'm not sure if that's the most most logical person to choose for your ethos there, but whatever. It's something else in Latin that I don't know. Okay, I'll try it this time. Calisti Hirachina, I don't know. Anyways, chapter 11. There are three aspects of spiritual substances. Visualize. I think that's the abbreviation for visualize. It's VIZ. Anyways, their essence, their power, and their operation. We will consider first that which has to do with the essence of the soul. Second, that which has to do with that which has to do with the soul's powers or capacities. And third, that which has to do with the soul's operations. I'm sorry, felt like I had to burp. Probably gonna burp a lot during the stream because I'm drinking soda, but don't mind that. On the first point, there are two things to consider. The first is the soul itself in its own right, and the second is the union of the soul with the body. On the first topic, there are seven questions. Oh, great. 1. Is a soul a body? 2. Is the soul something subsistent? 3. Are the souls of brute animals subsistent? 4. Is the soul a man, or is a man instead something composed of a soul and a body? 5. Is the soul composed of form and matter? 6. Is the human soul incorruptible? And 7. Is the soul the same in species as an angel? That was a nice little summary for what we're going to be reading, I'm assuming. So let's move into that and see his explanation for these. Heading Article 1. Subheading, is a soul a body? What's your guys' opinion on that? What do you think? Let's see what he has to say on it. It seems that a soul is a body. Objection 1. A soul is a mover of a body, but it does not give movement without being moved, both because A, it seems that nothing can be a mover unless it is moved, since nothing gives to another what in it itself does not have. Example, something that is not itself hot does not give heat. And because B, if something is an unmoved mover, oh my gosh, that's so repetitive, is an unmoved mover, then as Physics 8 shows, it is a cause of movement that is everlasting and uniform. Wait, I need a second to process that. Okay, that makes sense. If something is an unmoved mover, then it is a cause of movement that is everlasting. Okay. But this does not appear to be the case with an animal's movement, which is from the soul. Therefore, a soul is a mover that is moved, but every mover that is moved is a body. Therefore, a soul is a body. I hate to just break it up right in the middle of this thing really quick, but I just remembered something that I would like to share. Uh-oh, where did it go? Give me a second. One second. So, if you guys don't know, we gained 2 new subscribers today or yesterday or whatever it was. So, of course, we have to add them to the little pincushion heart. So, let's see. Which pins will we be using? Let's use this one and this one to show them. All right, the first subscriber that we have is a good friend of mine. I don't know if I can say their name or not, but and they are gonna be going right. This is their needle, silver. They're gonna be going right there. And then the other person is someone from my philosophy class. So that one is gonna be going right here. Those are our two new subscribers added to the thing. If you want to have one of these pins in here, you should go ahead and subscribe and maybe leave a like on my videos and like some of my videos and stuff if you want to, add to the subscriber heart. Yay. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, let's go back to what we were doing. Philosophy. All right. Where were we? We were on which is from a soul. Therefore, a soul is a mover that is moved. But every mover that is moved is a body. Therefore, a soul is a body. All right. Moving on to objection 2. Every cognition is affected by means of some sort of likeness. But a body cannot bear a likeness to an incorporeal thing. Therefore, if a soul were not a body, it would not be able to have any cognition of corporeal things. Wait. Objection 3. A mover must have some contact with the thing moved. Unless you have telekinesis or you can use the force. But logically they don't know what that stuff is. Anyways. But only bodies have contact. Therefore, since a soul moves a body, it seems that a soul is a body. But contrary to this, in the Trinate, I don't know how to say that, it's in Latin, I think, 6, Augustine says that a soul is simple in comparison to a body, since it is not spread out with its mass through a region in space. Let's break that down a little. Okay. I respond, in order to inquire into the nature of a soul, one must take for granted that which is called a soul is a first principle of life in those things around us that are alive. For we say that living things are ensouled, and that things which lack life are not ensouled. Makes good enough sense. They're saying rock doesn't have a soul, but an animal or a person does. Makes good enough sense. There are 2 operations by which life is especially made manifest. There's that abbreviation again, VIZ. You know what? I'm actually going to look up what that abbreviation means really quick. The abbreviation VIZ, or viz, without a full stop, is short for the Latin, I don't know how to say that. Let me try and put that into Google. Translate. Yes. We're just doing something really quick to translate. Okay, English. No, wait, it's not in English, it's Latin. So I'll just do that. Does it have Latin on Google Translate? I have a feeling that it doesn't since it's not showing it. Oh, Latin. Oh, there we go. See, it says it's... Okay, so let's go back to saying what it is. Alright, the abbreviation VIZ, or viz without a full stop, is short for the Latin... which itself is a contradiction of the Latin phrase verdelicent, meaning it is permitted to see. It is used as a synonym for namely, or that is to say, or to wit, or which is, or as follows. Okay. Pretty simple, okay. So back to what we were doing, which is reading it out loud. Well, as for viz, the more you know, right? Alright. Let's see, where were we? There are two operations by which life is especially made manifest, which is cognition and movement. I'm just going to substitute viz with which is, or one of those other synonyms that they gave me, okay? So it's just so it will be simpler. The ancient philosophers, unable to transcend the imagination, posited bodies as the principle of these operations, and they claimed that bodies alone are entities, and that what is not a body is nothing. Accordingly, they claimed that a soul is a certain sort of body. Ancientist. Sorry, I always have to switch the pages. All right. Back to what we were doing. Even though the falsity of this view can be shown in many ways, we will make use of just the one way in virtue of which it is most surely and most generally clear that a soul is not a body. It is evident that not every principle of a vital operation is a soul, since otherwise an eye would be a soul. An eye would be a soul, given that it is a principle of seeing. And the same thing would have to be said of others among the soul's instruments. Indeed, we are claiming that a soul is the first principle of life. Oh, wait. For it is clear. Wait. It's the first principle of life. Yeah, sorry, I skipped ahead a few lines. Sorry. For even though a for wait. For even though a body can in some sense be a principle of life, in the way that the heart is the principle of life in an animal, I keep skipping stuff. Okay. Nonetheless, a body cannot be the first principle of life. For it is clear that being a principle of life, or being alive, cannot belong to a body by reason of its being a body. Otherwise, each body would be alive, or would be a principle of life. Therefore, the fact that a body is alive, or is even a principle of life, is something that belongs to it by virtue of the fact that it is a body of a given sort. I'm going to be honest, I just completely lost what was going on right there. I need a drink of water really quick. Need drink of water real quick. Also, 1 second. Sorry, I had to adjust my belt really quick. So, anyways, back to philosophy. And then I get a text message. 1 moment again. All right, hopefully that means we will be having a new viewer joining us very soon. Anyways, as we were saying, back to philosophy. Let's see, where were we? Therefore, the fact that a body is alive is even a principle of life. Oh, hello, viewer. I just want to say...
Hello there.
And then you left. Well, I mean...
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, anyways. I guess just gonna go on past that. Given sword, or even a principle, is something that belongs to it by virtue of the fact that it is a body of a given sort. But the fact that a body is actually of a given sort is due to a principle that is called its act. Therefore, a soul, i.e., a first principle of life, is the act of a body and not itself a body. Just as heat, a principle of heating, is a certain act of a body and not itself a body. Reply to objection 1. Since everything that is moved by another, and since this cannot go on ad infinitum, That's Latin. I'm going to assume that probably means for infinity. Don't quote me on that, though. One must admit that not every mover is moved. For since to be moved is to go from potentiality to actuality, a mover gives what it has to the movable thing insofar as it makes that thing to be actually such and such. Now, as is shown in Physics 8, there is a sort of mover that is completely unmovable, that is moved neither per se nor per accidents. I'm going to assume that's Latin for on accident. And this sort of mover can affect a movement that is always uniform. On the other hand, oh look, there it is right there, that other hand. Sorry. On the other hand, there is another sort of mover that is moved per accident. I'm going to just say that. And not per se. See, and because of this, it does not affect a movement that is always uniform. Actually, I need to take a step back and process all of that because, honestly, when I read that, my brain just kind of went. Let's see. Soul is a mover. Because of this, it does not affect a movement that is always uniform. A soul is a mover of this sort. Finally, there is a sort of mover that is moved per se, which is a body. Since the ancient natural philosophers believed that only bodies exist, they claimed that A, every mover is itself moved, and that B, a soul is moved per se and is a body. Having trouble breathing right now for some reason. Blech. Whatever happened to you guys? Whatever. It's also really hot in here. Reply to objection 2. Yay! Since everything that is moved. Wait. Oh, that's a reply to objection 1. It is not necessary that a likeness of the thing of which there is a cognition. Wait, what? What the heck is the grammar of that sentence? It is not necessary that a likeness of the thing of which there is. Nope, that still doesn't make any grammatical sense or logical sense because of the errors of grammaticalness. Is that a word? I don't think it is. So I'm just going to underline that because that is a very confusing way of saying things. There is a cognition should exist in actuality in the nature of that which has the cognition. Let's just pretend we understand what that means. Instead, if something is such that it has cognition first in potentiality and afterwards in actuality, then a likeness of the thing of which there is cognition exists only in potentiality and not in actuality. In the nature of the thing having the cognition, just as a color exists in the pupil only in potentiality and not in actuality. Wait, what? Just as a color exists in the pupil only in potentiality and not in actuality. Oh yeah. I guess that makes sense. I never really thought about that. Hence, It is not necessary for there to be an actual likeness of corporeal entities in the nature of a soul. Rather, it is necessary only that likenesses of this sort should exist in a soul in potentiality. However, since the ancient natural philosophers were ignorant of the distinction between actuality and potentiality, they claimed that a soul is a body in order that it might have cognition of bodies. And they claimed that it is composed of the principles of all bodies in order that it might have cognition of all bodies. I was pretty sure I knew what cognition means, like the brain and everything, cognitive abilities, but now I'm kind of second guessing it because of the way that they're using it. Maybe I should look it up and find a more precise definition for it so that we can understand more fully, perhaps. Let's go ahead and use Google really quick. We're just gonna, 1 second. Sorry. I forgot that I can't loop these right now. Anyways. Okay, anyways. We were looking up the definition of cognition. That rhymes. All right, the more precise definition given for cognition is the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. The result of this, perception, sensation, notion, or intuition. Yeah, because that's what I thought it meant. So I guess that was accurate, but I'm not quite sure how that fits into what this one is saying. Go ahead and screenshot that really quick. All right. Oh, hello. Hello. Where's the top hat? Not today. It just doesn't match with what I'm wearing because what I am wearing today is I decided I wanted to dress like my favorite streamer today. So that would be Rambo. So shout out to him. Hope he doesn't mind me copying his style or whatever. I'm not wearing the mask right now because it's easier to hear me when I'm talking when I don't. So top hat doesn't really fit with that. 1 second, I will be right back. So 1 second. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that. Anyways, where were we? Oh yes, we had just no. Why is it still going? No, stop. Well, that was a real blooper right there. Oh gosh. We were thinking about cognition. and how it relates to what we were saying when they used cognition in this. How are you doing, by the way? I hope you're doing well. Please leave a like on the video if you can. And if you're not, subscribe. Yay, subscribe. Anyways, where were we specifically and where we were saying this? It's the nature of the thing having cognition. Let's just move on to the next part of that. Oh, thank you for the like. Yay. Let me do something really quick to celebrate that. I'm just gonna... I don't know, is that annoying? That's to celebrate the like, yay. Train whistles, woohoo. Anyways. However, since oh wait. I did read that. Okay, well I guess we're at reply to objection 3. Yay. I'm glad your day was pretty okay. I'm rhyming all the time right now. Mine was as well. Reply to objection 3. There are 2 sorts of contact. Contact of quantity and contact of power. In the case of the first sort of contact, a body is touched only by a body. In the case of the second sort of contact, body can be touched by an incorporeal entity that moves the body. Okay. I am so tired right now. Article 2. Yay. Subheading is a human soul something substance? Now, for those of you that may not be informed, let's go ahead and look up the definition for substance really quick, so that we can have a more defined term for it. Do SUB size. And I'm actually also going to make sure that I am saying it correctly, because I might not be. What? Subsistent? That's weird. It's not very helpful, Google Dictionary. Maybe you could be a little bit more helpful, maybe. You know what I mean? Oh wow, this definition is real helpful. Subsisting. Thanks. You totally explained what that meant. Oh, noun, philosophy. Something that exists necessarily as opposed to contingent existence in space and time. I'm sorry, what? I just.
Wait, what?
Okay, well, let's try and break this down. Gonna take a little screenshot of that. Contingent is dependent for existence, occurrence, character on something not yet certain. Liable to happen or not, uncertain, possible. Happening by chance or without known cause. Okay. So that would mean that this One second. All right, let's open up what I had just taken a screenshot of. I make everything so complicated, don't I? No, wrong way. Subset. Okay, so if that means I should write this down. Because notes are important for class. Yay! Something that exists necessarily as opposed to conjugate. Oh, wrong way again. Uncertain as to back to subsistent existence in space and time. Okay, so is the human soul something that exists necessarily as opposed to being dependent for existence, possible or happening by chance, existence in space and time? Okay, I think I sort of get that better. Sorry if it's a bit difficult to follow what I'm saying right there. Anyways, I'm just gonna, just gonna. All right. Of course, I forgot that it keeps going. Let's continue. Now that we know what that means. It seems that a human soul is not something. Oh wait, I forgot to look up how to say it correctly. Keep forgetting everything.
Subsiste.
I'm not sure that's what I.
Subsiste. 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 Subsiste.
Subsist. What if I made it English?
Subsistent.
Subsistent. Yes, so I have been saying it correctly. Where do I stand with spicy food? I don't know, it kind of depends. I don't really like spicy food that much. Like, I definitely would not be able to handle, like, really high spice. But, like, I can handle a little bit. You know, it's definitely not something that I would usually choose to eat. But, yeah, Any particular reason for you asking, or what about you? Where do you stand with it? You know, and thank you for asking. While you may answer or not, I'm going to continue to work to read out loud. So,
Anyways.
subsistent. Okay. Objection 1. Cool. Glad you like it. Objection 1. That which is subsistent is said to be a this something. What? Yet it is not the soul that is this something, but rather that which is composed of a soul and a body. Therefore, a soul is not something subsistent. Oh, makes sense. How is it? Do you like it? Are you eating it and then going,
Hey, that's pretty good.
Sorry. Anyways, that's way too loud, sorry. Anyways, I really should keep reading this out loud. It's not just for the stream, it's for my education. Objection 2. Anything that is subsistent can be said to operate, or soul is not said to operate. Since as de anima, more Latin, I think, or Greek, I'm not sure. 1 puts it, to say that a soul senses or understands is like saying that a soul weaves or builds. End quote. It's kind of interesting. I'd like to see a soul weave and build. I think that'd be pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to underline that because I think that would be a cool thing to give me ideas for my creative stuff. Therefore, a soul is not something subsistent. Objection 3. Wow, there's a lot of objections here. Objection! If a soul were something subsistent, then it would have an operation without a body. But none of its operations occurs without a body, not even the act of intellective understanding. Since the soul cannot have an act of intellective understanding without phantasms, and phantasms cannot exist without a body. Therefore, a human soul is not something subsistent. Wow, they're getting really repetitive here. You know, I think I get the point by now. But contrary to this, in De Trinit, more Latin 10, Augustine says, oh, isn't that just like what we are doing just a few, okay, anyways. Augustine says, if anyone discerns the nature of the mind and sees that it is a substance, but not a corporeal substance, he will see that those who think it is a corporeal substance make this mistake because they attach to the soul these things, which are the images of bodies, without which they cannot think of any nature. End quote. Therefore, the nature of a human mind is not only incorporeal, but also of substance, or something subsistent. I have a question for you, single viewer. I know what corporeal means, but do you know what corporeal means? Would you like me to define it for you? Please respond in chat if you're still there. Anyways, I'm going to continue and you can answer. So you do know what corporeal means. All right. I'm going to assume that that was a yes. Okay, well, here's a little lesson of what corporeal means. Corporeal means to have a form. I think that's generally what it is. So you see, this beautiful thing of soda, it is corporeal because it has a form right here, you know? But things such as imagination or the soul or happiness do not have a corporeal form. You cannot they're not touchable. You know, they're not visible and stuff. So they would be incorporeal. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe. Are you even listening? All right. So that should help you understand a little better what I'm reading. Although honestly, I'm pretty sure most of this is just going over your head because some of it's going over my head. But, you know, education, yay. Please ignore any background noise you may hear. Contrary to this, therefore, though, okay, yeah. I respond, oh my gosh, this is so cringy. One must claim that the principle of intellectual operations, which we call a man's soul, is an incorporeal and subsistent principle. For it is clear that by means of his intellect, a man is able to have cognition of the natures of all bodies. But that which is able to have cognition of given things must be such that it has nothing of those things in its own nature. Since what, I lost my place. Since what exists in it naturally would, in that case, impede the cognition of those other things. For instance, we see that a sick tongue, infected with bilbious and bitter humors. If you don't know what he's saying means by humors, there was like this in that time period and quite a ways in history. They had this for medical stuff. They had this like theory, or to them it was like fact of these. I think it was like 5 or 4, maybe it was 3 different humors, which were like different. Oh, it's so hard to explain. It was like different things that they would categorize certain illnesses and stuff into, and the humors would have to be balanced for you to be healthy. It's kind of weird. It's weird. Anyways, that's probably what he's talking about. Where was it? Is unable to perceive anything sweet. Instead, everything seems bitter to it. Therefore, if an intellectual principle had within itself the nature of any sort of body, it would be unable to have cognition of all bodies. But each body has some determinate nature. Therefore, it is impossible that this intellectual principle should be a body, and similarly, it is impossible that it should have intellective understanding through a bodily organ, since the determinate nature of that bodily organ would likewise prevent it having cognition of all bodies. In just the same way, that if some determinate color exists not only in the pupil, but also in the glass vase. Wait, now I'm confused. Then a liquid poured into that vase seems to be of the same color. I need a drink really quick, so... Also, if you haven't seen, we gained 2 new subscribers, either today or yesterday or something recently. And so these, and if you don't know what this is the little subscriber heart pin cushion. Each of these needles is 1 subscriber to this channel. So these 2 are the new subscribers that we had. So yay, we now have 9 subscribers. Woohoo! Feel free to add and, become a subscriber if you're not. And then you can have a nice needle in here. You can watch the heart get stabbed. It's us saying everything. Anyways, let's get back to what we were doing. This genuinely feels like it's going to take forever, but that's okay. Therefore, the intellectual principle itself, which is called the mind or the intellect, has an operation in its own right that the body does not share in. Sorry. I'm not making fun of anyone that has that name. If you have that name, it's wonderful. Okay, sorry. But nothing can operate in its own right unless it subsists in its own right. For to operate belongs to a being that is actual, and so a thing operates in the way in which it exists. It is for this reason that we say that it is the hot thing, rather than the heat, that gives warmth. It follows then that the human soul, which is called the intellect or mind, is something incorporeal and subsistent. Excuse me. Reply to objection 1. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this for an hour. This is ridiculous. The term this something can be taken in 2 senses. In the first sense, it is taken for any subsistent thing, whereas in the second sense, it is taken for a subsistent thing that is complete in the nature of some species. The first sense excludes inherence of the sort that belongs to an accident or immaterial form. The second sense excludes, in addition, the incompleteness that belongs to a part. Hence, a hand could be called a this something in the first sense, but not in the second sense. So then, since the human soul is a part of the human species, it can be called a this something, or subsistent in the first sense, but not in the second sense. For in the second sense, what is called a this something is that which is composed of a soul and a body. Reply to objection 2. Yay. Is this guy just going to keep talking to himself? I relate. I talk to myself all the time. It's kind of concerning and weird. But anyways, is he just going to keep talking to himself? Seriously? Now I'm just imagining in his head while he's writing this, he's got a little courtroom and he's got one person yelling objection and then the other person yelling objection and then like when the people's like, I reply to your objection, blah blah blah, and it's just little versions of him fighting with themselves in a courtroom. Objection. Sorry, is that weird? Anyways, continuing. Reply to objection 2. Aristotle is making this assertion not to express his own opinion, but rather to express the opinion of those who are claiming that to have intellective understanding is to be moved. This is clear from what he says just before the cited passage. I really wanted to have time to work on my horror content project today, but I might not be able to, considering how long this is taking. One. Okay, continuing on. An alternative reply is that to act in its own right benefits something that exists in its own right. But the phrase exists in its own right can sometimes be predicated of a thing as long as it is not inherent like an accident or a material form, even if it is a part. Hey, Benefit, he's still there? You know who I'm talking to? You still there? Yes, no, maybe. Got bored a long time ago like I did. You still there, viewer? On the other hand, there it is, yay, the other hand. What is said to subsist properly and per se is such that it is neither inherent to wait. Neither inherent in the aforementioned ways nor a part. In this sense, neither an eye nor a hand could be said to subsist in its own right, and so neither could it be said to operate on its own. Needs a brain to operate, okay. Hence, the operations of the parts are attributed to the whole by means of the parts. For we say that a man sees by means of his eye, and that he touches by means of his hand. This is different from saying that a hot thing gives warmth by means of its heat, since there is no sense in which the heat gives warmth, properly speaking. Therefore, one can claim that a soul understands in the same sense in which an eye sees, but that it is more proper to say that the man understands by means of his soul. Oh, we're talking about being proper, are we? Well, I can show you proper. If only I had my top hat. Reply to objection 3. This is like an over-the-top text message conversation. The body is not required, except for if I was having a text conversation with this guy. I'm gonna be honest, I'd probably stop texting him. I'd probably leave him on red. Because I just wouldn't have the brain capacity to deal with it right now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The body is not required for an intellect's action as an organ by means of which that action is exercised. Rather, the body is required for the sake of the action's object. For phantasm is related to intellective understanding in the way that a color is related to seeing. But needing the body in this sense does not rule out the intellect's being subsistent. Otherwise, it would be the case that because it needs external sensible things in order to have sensation, an animal is not something substantive. How long is this? 11 pages long, and guess what page we're on? 4. Yay. I might split this into 2 parts and read the rest tomorrow. But I don't know yet. Moving on to Article 3. Are the souls of brute animals subsistent? I don't know, are they? One second, I will be right back. 1 second. Why won't it let me do what I want to? Oh crap. That's weird. It's not letting me do that. 1 second. It should allow me to do. Shiz. All right. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Let's see if we can make this slightly more interesting by using props. Yay! Because I don't know. Okay, anyways. Let's just continue with what I was doing. All right. Are the souls of brute animals subsistent? It seems that the souls of brute animals are subsistent. Objection 1. Man agrees that with the other animals in more words. It's just saying class or group. Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it, so let's go ahead and put it in there.
Genus.
Genus. Okay. Simple enough. The more you know, right? Anyways. Man agrees with the other animals in genus. But as has been shown, man's soul is subsistent. Therefore, the souls of the other animals are likewise subsistent. Objection 2. Something sentient is related to what can be sensed, in the same way that something intellective is related to what can be understood intelectively. But the intellect understands intelligible things without the body. Therefore, the senses apprehend sensible things without the body. But the souls of brute animals are sentient. Therefore, they are subsistent with the same reason that the human soul, which is intellective, is subsistent. Objection 3. A brute animal's soul moves its body. But a body is moved and does not affect movement. Therefore, a brute animal's soul has an operation without its body. But contrary to this, oh my gosh, I do not want to try to pronounce that. It's in Latin. In De Esculitis, Dogmatibus, it says, we believe that man alone has a soul that is substance, whereas the soul of animals are not substances. End quote. I respond, oh, you do you? Sorry. The ancient philosophers did not draw a distinction between sensation and intellective understanding, and they attributed both of them to a corporeal principle, as has already been explained. Now, Plato did distinguish intellective understanding from sensation, but he attributed both of them to an incorporeal principle, arguing that just as intellective understandings belong to the soul in its own right, so too does sensing. And from this it followed that even the souls of brute animals are subsistent. Aristotle, on the other hand, claimed that among the works of the soul, only intellective understanding is exercised without a corporal organ. By contrast, sensing and resulting operations of the sentient soul clearly occur with bodily changes. For instance, in the act of seeing, the pupil is changed by the species of color, and the same thing is clear with the other senses. And so it is clear that the sentient soul does not have any proper operation of its own. Instead, every operation of the sentient soul belongs to the conjoined entity. From this, it follows that since the souls of brute animals do not operate in their own right, they are not subsistent, for each thing has its esse, it's spelled E-S-S-E. Probably more Latin. I'm going to assume it's like the essence. In the same way that it has its operation. Reply to objection 1. Yay. Even though man agrees with the other animals in genus, he nonetheless differs from them in species, and a difference in species is accompanied by a difference in form, nor does it have to be the case that every difference of form makes for a diversity of genera, probably plural of genus. Reply to objection 2. There is a sense in which the sentient part of the soul is related to what can be sensed in the way that the intellective part is related to what can be understood intellectually, which each is in potentiality with respect to its objects. However, there is another sense in which they are related in different ways to their objects, for the sentient part is acted upon by the sensible object via a corporeal change, and hence an excessiveness in the sensible objects harms the sensory power. This does not occur in the case of the intellect, for an intellect that is having an intellective understanding of the most intelligible things is more able afterwards to understand lesser objects. What's more, even though the body gets tired out, I'm tired, in an intellective understanding, this is incidental, given that the intellect needs the operation of the sentient powers to prepare phantasms for it. Reply to objection 3. There are 2 sorts of moving powers. There is one which commands movement, which is the appetitive power. In its operation in the sentient soul does not occur within the body. Okay, I feel like I'm going to burp. Excuse me, down the body. Rather, anger and joy and all passions of this sort exist along with some change in the body. The second sort of moving power is one which executes movement, and through which the members of the body are rendered capable of obeying the appetite. This power's act is to be moved and not to affect movement. Hence, it is clear that to affect movement is not an act that the sentient soul has without the body. Oh. I'm really tired from this. Oh gosh. So now I have a decision to make. I'm pretty much halfway through the philosophy text. And now I can decide, because I don't really need to have read through all of this until Thursday when my next philosophy class is. So I could leave the second half of this reading to be read tomorrow, which would mean another stream for you guys tomorrow with me reading it. And I could worry about it later and work on other stuff for the rest of the time that I have. Or I could keep reading this all the way to the end and, just get it done and over with. If there were more people watching, I would put a poll in the chat so that you guys can decide for me. Unfortunately, there's not more people, so I have to make this decision all on my own. Let's see. I do have other schoolwork I need to work on as well. So I do think that this will be a part one video/stream. And I will be finishing up the rest of reading this philosophy text tomorrow. So you guys can go ahead and tune into that stream tomorrow. Probably will be scheduled about the same time as this stream was, like 3:25 or something like that. Hopefully it won't be as long of a stream for me reading that. Oh, I just glanced at this and it looks like they actually, for this next part, they will actually start quoting scriptures, so that should be interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to end the reading for this philosophy text for now, and just read and stream myself reading the next part tomorrow. Hopefully that's okay with all of you. So sad. Are you sad that are you being sarcastic? Or are you really sad that I'll be ending reading this long and boring and complicated philosophy text for today? Because I can tell you, I am far from sad that I'm finally finishing it for today, because I am overjoyed to finally be done with it for now. It is just... Also, if you didn't know, my calendar today says it's Teacher Appreciation Day. So if you still have class, today, which I kind of doubt you do, since it's already way later into the afternoon, make sure to thank your teachers and stuff. I gave both of my teachers Kit Kat bars in appreciation for today, so hopefully you'll be enjoying those. I really appreciate all those professors and teachers and educators and more that work hard to help teach and assist those that wish to learn or are forced to learn, and hope that they they're doing well, you know? Once again, if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to the channel so you can be one of these needles on the pincushion subscriber heart. And the thing is do I want to keep streaming right now while I do my other schoolwork? What do you guys think? That is a direct question if anyone's in chat. Alright, since I'm getting no replies in chat, I will start closing up the stream. What is the other thing that I need to work on for school? It's... one second. You know what? Let me just transition to sing really quick, and we can, and I can decide. Oh, sorry. I can decide where we will go from here. So, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. just look at this really quick. Alright, yeah. I think I will be wrapping up my stream for now. I might do another stream right after this for something else. But for now, thank you for watching. Please leave a like or subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate you watching and staying till the end. Thank you. In case you don't know, I'm BlueMoonMonsoon or Moony, and I wish you adieu. Bye.